Welcome, folks. Pull up a chair and pour yourself a glass of sweet tea, because tonight we're spinning a yarn straight from the heart of the Ozarks. This is the story they call The Legend of the Newark Mess, a tale so wild it could only happen here. Our story begins on a sleepy afternoon at the Three Brothers General Store. The air inside hung thick and still, smelling of fresh cedar shavings and strong black coffee. Leaning against the counter, big enough to block the sun, was old Tom Brown. Now, when I say big, I mean giant. Tom was the kind of man who used oak trees for toothpicks. Over by the shelves, Rosemary was checking her supply list. Don't let her sweet name fool you. Rosemary was a powerhouse, strong enough to wrestle a bear and win 2 falls out of 3. And in the corner, tilted back in a rickety wooden chair, sat the one and only Doc Holliday. He wasn't the dentist you're thinking of, but he was just as good at pulling things. He was calmly spinning his ivory-handled revolver like it was a toy, the silver glinting in the dusty shafts of sunlight. The whole store was quiet enough to hear a pin drop, when suddenly the old Bakelite radio on the shelf crackled to life, spitting static. A panicked voice cut through the hiss. "Emergency in Newark. We've got an emergency. There's a giant gorilla looks just like the one from the movies, standing knee-deep in the White River. He's using the Island Slough Bridge as a back-scratcher. And folks, that bridge ain't rated for gorilla-sized itches." The store went dead silent for a moment. Doc Holliday slowly stopped spinning his revolver. He carefully placed it back in its holster, a slow grin spreading across his face. He looked over at Rosemary, and his eyes landed on the mountain of a man that was Tom Brown. "Well, boys," Doc drawled, his voice smooth as whiskey, "I reckon a giant, bridge-scratching gorilla ain't on the inventory list." He stood up, stretching his long legs. "Tom," he said, "you feel like a little road trip?" And that, my friends, is how the wildest day in Newark's history began. Stick around for the next part of the story to see what happens when an Ozark giant, a powerhouse, and a legendary gunslinger decide to go handle a little gorilla problem. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe so you catch the rest of the tale.